I acknowledge the presence of all the respected dignitaries. Thank you, Ramesh Channithala sir, for inviting and indulging me. Thank you so much for all of you turning up and making this event successful. The topic that I'm given is what could be the way forward for Dalit movement. So this title implies that there is a Dalit movement, strong Dalit movement. There is a lot of Dalit aggression, Dalit assertion, Dalit movement, at times very energetic, at times unprofessional, unorganized. But there is a strong Dalit movement. The question is, when we as Dalit movement, when we as a society, as a nation, think about an anti-caste movement, ours can't be just a project for Dalit upliftment and Dalit movement. The ultimate aim of Ambedkarite movement or Dalit movement has to be creating a nation, a society which has no caste. Caste must not exist. Annihilation of caste has to be the ultimate agenda of Dalit movement. Though, as I said, there is a strong, assertive, aggressive Dalit movement, we as a society, as a nation, have not been able to come up with a concrete blueprint which can lead us to the annihilation of caste. For most of the years of his life, Gandhiji maintained a stand that untouchability should go, untouchability should be eradicated, and Varna Vyavastha should remain. Ambedkar's position from the day one was very clear. Not just removal and eradication of untouchability, entire caste system has to be completely destroyed, dismantled and devastated. Without that, not just Dalits, we as a nation don't have a future. Every facet, every dimension of life in India brutally distorted by this phenomena of caste. We see the National Crime Records Bureau data, and we as a Dalit movement are tired of citing this data, that every day in India 4 Dalit women are raped, 2 Dalits are killed, crime against a Dalit is committed every 18 minutes. But somehow, as a nation, as a society, we are not ashamed of it. It can't be the cause of just Dalit people, right? The issue of caste, the issue of Dalit is the issue of India. But unfortunately, this country is not realizing that there is no chance of any substantial progress if we are not able to annihilate caste. And caste and class both are interconnected, the way caste and patriarchy are interconnected. And therefore, we also need to focus as a Dalit movement not just on the issue of self-respect and dignity, not just on the issue of atrocities and caste violence and arakshana and reservations, but we also need to put focus on our economic gain in improving our material condition. If there are 100 Dalits in India, 70-75% are predominantly rural people. Dalits are mainly rural people. The urbanization is not great. And out of the 70-75% people that we see in rural India, most of them, up to 75%, maybe even more, are completely landless. The Dalits who are in Surat, Baroda, Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Bangalore, Chennai, they are living in slums. They are living in chawls. The women are domestic help. The women are working as Asha worker, Anganwadi Karyakartas. They are primarily industrial workers. But I don't see a Dalit movement focusing on the class, on the economic, on the material issues the Dalit community is facing today. Most of the Dalits, 80%, 85% Dalits are marginalized, poorest of poor, downtrodden, and they're working as a laborer. What about their land rights? What about the right to food? What about their right to education? What about their distribution of land reforms policies? Dalit movement is not focusing on that. For many years, Dalit movement fought with the left progressive groups. that you are not raising our caste concerns. But Dalit movement also hasn't focused on our economic issues. I don't see Dalit movement going to bricklins. I don't see Dalit movement unionizing the factory workers. I don't see any Ambedkarite group giving a lot of focus on the implementation of minimum wages. So, though ours is the movement for self-respect and dignity, we also need to focus on our economic material issues. Thousands and thousands of acres of land across India has been granted, allocated to landless Dalits. But physical possession is not with them. Whether it is Gujarat, whether it is Rajasthan, whether it is Madhya Pradesh, whether it is Karnataka, whether it is Maharashtra, you take Haryana, Punjab, any state. And if you consider the market price of these lands, will go into crores and crores of rupees. An entire Dalit movement is kind of silent. As Prakash ji said, what happens when you try to raise these concerns of land rights, then it is electorally detrimental for your cause. So there is a lot of conflict between the grammar of Dalit movement and the electoral politics. But the ones who are not into the mainstream politics, not contesting as MPs and MLAs, who are into purely just Dalit movement, at least those groups, and whenever it is possible, people like us can contribute. But we must focus on our land rights. As I said, thousands of acres, like in case of Gujarat. I know, I can show, I've been showing it to the government, that 20,000 acres of land belonging to scheduled caste, allocated to scheduled caste, entries are effected in the revenue papers, but I don't have the physical possession. Somebody else is cultivating, and still we are happy saying Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhai, celebrating 14th April, 6th December, and that's all. So without focusing on our economic and material issues, there is no way forward. That was one point that I wanted to point out. Secondly, just K. Raju sir has just arrived, and in my hand is a paper which is his analysis. He has analyzed where do we stand in terms of holding assets, in terms of property, where do we stand. Now, it's been 25 years we have seen the neoliberalism. When neoliberal economic policies got introduced in July 1991, there were claims that it will trickle down, lives of the Dalits and tribals and OBCs will be uplifted, market forces will help create business which will eventually help to this poor as well. But now we need to take a look at it after 25 years, where do we stand? So K. Raju sir's analysis is like this. In the judiciary, though SC, ST, OBC are 75%, our share, SC, ST, OBC share is just 19%. When it comes to the ownership of the educational institute, it is just 6%. When it comes to the ownership of media houses, it is 0%. When it comes to the ownership of NGOs, which are claiming to work for the poorest of poor, which are claiming to work for the SC, ST, OBCs and minorities, when it comes to the ownership of NGOs, it is just 2%. Sangh Parivar talks about accommodating Dalits and tribals and OBCs, but in their leadership, they are just 4%. SC, ST, OBCs, they are just 4%. When it comes to Bollywood and entertainment industries, we are just 7%. When it comes to sports, just 29%. When it comes to NSE listed companies, OBCs are just 6%. Nobody from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. When it comes to the ownership of private hospital, just 17%. Union budget, we get only 30% share. We get only 30% share in the state budgets. If we get how much contracts of airport we get, it is all for Adani. Absolutely nothing for SC, ST, OBC, nothing, not even 1%. Contracts of ports, 0%. Contracts for building roads, 2%. In power sector, how much contracts SC, ST, OBC get? Only 7%. How much lease mining contracts do we have? SC, ST, OBC, just 1%. In print media, the presence of SC, ST, OBC, just 2%. In electronic media, it is again just 2%. In digital media, it is just 4%. That is where we, 70 years after independence, stand. So, remaining satisfied, celebrating 14th April, garlanding Phule, Periyar, Shahu Maharaj, Baba Saheb Ambedkar statue is not enough. We will have to talk about our public health, our education. 55 to 60% ST, OBC, Dalit women are anemic. And who are these women who are daily pouring out their blood and sweat? The auditorium under which I am speaking right now. These are not just bricks and walls. This is somebody's labor. Whose labor is this? This is all Dalits and tribals. These are all Muslims and DNTs. These are all OBCs. So, as I repeatedly saying, we will definitely fighting the caste violence cases. But we will also need to focus on our land rights, our education. We need to ask for tenders. We need contracts. We need not just a cherry hanging on the cake. We need entire cake. 15 to 20% people are consuming entire cake. And the 75-80% people are satisfied just with cherry. Now the time has come to turn the table. And that is what Honorable Rahulji, through caste census, constantly talks about. So here we have Rahul Gandhi, who is talking about caste census, so that we have a proper X-ray of the country. How much property ST, OBC, minorities, DNTs and Dalits have, so that we can ask of a piece of cake. And on the other hand, we have Mr. Amit Shah, who in the parliament, in an insulting tone, says, these days it has become a fashion to say Ambedkar, Ambedkar, Ambedkar. Let me conclude on this note that saying Ambedkar, Ambedkar, Ambedkar is not fashion, it's our passion. And all of our life we are going to say Ambedkar, Ambedkar, Ambedkar. So I request to all of you, it's amazing that you organize this conclave and given not just me, to all of us an opportunity to have this kind of indulgence and engagement and dialogue. But we, as Dalit movement, as secular forces, as progressive people, all the SC, ST, OBC groups, whether affiliated with political parties or who are independent groups, we must sit together someday and decide and design and devise as to what will lead to annihilation of caste. We can't remain silent on our land rights. The land worth lakhs of crores of rupees is somebody else is cultivating. This has to go. So time has come to throw this anachronistic institution caste into the dustbin of history. Hopefully, we'll do something together and things will improve, things will change. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.